All girls gone sober!
Woo, we're back.
Oh my god, we're back. I feel like we've been gone forever. I'm so excited to see your face.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm so excited to see your face and catch up. We have like a million things going on. I feel like I'm in total life overload, sometimes to the point of meltdown the last couple of weeks. And we're recording in a weird space today.
Yes.
You'll notice I don't have an ant behind my head like normal. We're in a different space, which could become a permanent space. So we'll see what happens. But right now Lindsay and I live really far apart, and that makes it challenging sometimes to do this on a regular basis. But we love you guys, and
a lot's been going on too.
Yeah.
So I will say it's the distance, but it's also just trying to figure out a time to sit down and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working that out. We're figuring it all out as we go. And we had today, so we are here, and it's February 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the last time we recorded was Christmas, after Christmas.
It was after Christmas, so I feel like it must have been after New Year's, right? It must have been post New Year's, which was a weird time. We had a lot to recap for Christmas. Today is the day after Valentine's Day, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit. I had a little funk weirdness going on today. I was in a yuck bleh space this morning and almost bit Lindsay's head off, which really wasn't fair because it wasn't really about her. But
it's not always about you.
It's not always about you, Lindsay. I'm not mad at you, but yeah, I'm like emotional and weird today. I was telling some of it before we started recording, and I'm in a better space now. Like 2 hours ago, what is it? It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, 2 hours ago, I was like in my car going like, okay, don't cry and don't freak out. This is not that big a deal. And you have to just take a deep breath, and you're reacting in way too big a way to what is going on right now. So
let's touch base on that then, because we're on it, and we'll do a little update after. But so day after Valentine's Day, everybody has their own take on how Valentine's Day should go, and then I think that just as being alcoholics too, like we have this expectation that everybody should be or do a certain thing, and something that I've had to deal with is just the expectation is usually unrealistic, and I'm usually disappointed. And whether it's, flowers or dinner or just saying the right thing, we're both in really good, healthy relationships anyways. So we're fortunate enough every day, right?
And getting relationships that have been getting better and better and better since we both got sober. So it's a little unfair, at least on my part, how I'm feeling about all of it, because my husband's been phenomenal. I mean, he really has stepped up and been great, and there's some things I'll talk about later that he's just kind of shocked me with. Like, I can't say anything but that our relationship is going better. But it's like this one crux, and I don't like Valentine's Day because it always sets me up to be upset. And it makes me hate Facebook because everybody posts their bullshit, perfect lives on Facebook.
Yeah, but that's all a crock of fucking shit.
It is. That's what I mean. Bullshit.
Like, yeah,
it is. And I'm just as guilty. Like, I don't post like, me, I'm having a bad day. Like, I don't post that stuff on Facebook. And I don't like the people who do. Like, I don't even like those people when they're like, people suck. And you're like, oh, thanks for the vague, pissy comment and your passive aggressiveness on Facebook. Just say what the fuck is the matter. Yeah. So like, I get pissed at those people anyway, but I feel like I spend all day Valentine's Day looking at everybody's shit, looking at everybody's flowers and candies and whatever, and I know I'm not gonna get flowers. I know it. And it's like the one weird thing about my husband that I can't understand, and I can't understand how to communicate how much it hurts my feelings, that it's like he actively refuses to buy me flowers. Like, I have expressed that I would like flowers. I have said I don't need Valentine's Day presents.
But just to let you know, he did buy a present, and he picked out a beautiful card.
He did.
And there's got to be a reason of the flowers. It's got to be deeper.
It baffles me. And the other thing that's craziness, and I'm not mad at him. I'm not. Right. He got me it was very thoughtful. He got me a nice gift. I love it. He didn't screw up. He's not a jerk. It's like this one weird piece that hurts my feelings for some reason. And I I know I'm gonna be disappointed. I spend the whole day like, don't get your hopes up. You know there's not gonna be flowers. It doesn't matter. Like talking myself down off the ledge, and I still walk in the door with this little ray of hope. And then the balloon is deflated. And I feel guilty. Like I don't wanna say anything. He did a nice thing. He got me I love what he bought me. He bought me this really cute Harley Davidson jacket thing that is adorable, and it fit me perfect. I looked really cute in it. I was so excited. But there's this in my belly for some reason.
Well, that won't happen next year. I'm going to buy you flowers.
Aw,
So I used to have
I buy
this
myself
tradition
flowers.
with my girlfriend because we were always let down on Valentine's Day no matter what. And in any relationship, just always. So her and I would meet after work and we'd just get smashed real quick. Like we would drink so much. We'd meet at the bar, no matter which bar it was, no matter like what, and we would meet and we would just pound a couple wines, a couple vodka sodas, and then we'd both go to like
Valentine's Day.
So then we both go to like our dates. But realizing now, looking back at that just made it worse. It just heightened, and it just made everything such a bigger deal of not getting flowers. Where now I'm like, all right, well, you didn't get me flowers, and you don't like Valentine's Day. All right, I'm go to Publix, get my 3 for $12 flowers, set them up for the house.
Right.
Like whatever.
Well, and that was what I had said to myself this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm the one who got the email from the florist saying, hey, pre-order got. Why don't I just order myself fucking flowers to be delivered on Valentine's Day? Like, that's what I said to myself this morning. I'm like, I'm just gonna do that next year. I'm just gonna put the order in and write myself a sweet card, and they'll be home when I get home, and it'll be a beautiful surprise. Like, it's such a silly thing to be so hung up on, and to the point that so we had a little misunderstanding, whatever, about timing for this morning, and like my head almost exploded. I had such an inappropriate reaction to it, and thankfully, and it was all part of this, whatever this is. I don't know if I'm PMSing or what is happening, but I was able to, and I guess this is all the work we're doing, right? I was able to just stop and be like, okay, you're way overreacting. The way you're feeling about this is not equal to what the situation severity is. Like, take a deep freaking breath. Don't give Lindsay an attitude through text. Like, just stop. It's all fine. And I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. It took a minute.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. But that was just weird. And the other thing I thought to myself is, I have not been to a meeting all week. And that's like therapy. Like, I need to go. I know I need to go. So I was like, going today. Definitely going to the new meeting today.
So we'll go to a meeting today, which I'm excited about. And that was another thing, like, so a lot of stuff has been going on since the last time we've recorded. So just a little recap from the last 2 months.
Previously on Wild Girls Gone Sober.
So the whole transition since we've really started recording, like I was looking for another job opportunity, and that had a layer of stress.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, and so I started a new job on Monday.
Woo!
I'm really excited and nervous about. It just feels good to. It's like the last shedding of kind of like that old. I don't even know what the right word is for it, but it's just that old kind of Lindsay. Like, I did a lot of drinking at my last job, and not because my job encouraged that, but just because of the stress and, you know, the whole raffling a tiny home and doing a lot of that stuff. Like, that just made me feel like I was working too much, and it was just justifying my drinking, as, you know, you could find any reason to justify your drinking.
Yeah, I remember standing in the tiny house pounding beers at the air show.
Yeah, oh yeah. Right? Like,
I was like, yeah, you're totally living here.
Right. We can take this thing on the tour.
I can totally pass out in here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Some of the ladder, oh my god. So, but yeah, it justified in my mind a lot of drinking and a lot of stress and a lot of things that when I look back now, I just overreacted because, again, it's just, you know, like you're.
Well, there were pieces that impacted your relationship, so I think it's like that final moving on.
Absolutely.
From all the things that were causing those issues for you. So.
Absolutely, and it was a lot of like work after hours and things like that. So this will be able to, I feel like, really get me my life back, and it's just a really good career move, and it's a great company.
And you get to like start fresh, and I kind of had this already, so this is cool for you. So I started with my company just over a year ago, but really other than like a couple of people I got tight with, my company people, like my whole crew doesn't really know me as a drinker. Like they didn't have a lot of opportunity to know me as a drinker, so it was easier for me to build this non-drinking persona over the last almost 5 months. 10 days to 5 months. So now you get a fresh start. Like you're walking in the door, this Lindsay, and they're gonna get to know this Lindsay, and you can just be like, oh no, I don't drink, and there's no like, what? Who are you?
I know, right?
You know, it's great.
So it is funny because my new boss called me last night, and I was drinking.
She wasn't drinking.
I was driving from Fort Lauderdale back home up, and so I was like, and it was like 6:30, and he lives in a different state, my new boss, but I was thinking, I was like, I'm driving. It's Friday at 6:30. These are all things I would be like, I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to answer the phone. It's my new boss. Oh my gosh. And now I'm like, ding, answer the phone. Able to have, you know, a good conversation with him, not be embarrassed.
You weren't at happy hour.
I remembered what I said to him this morning. Right. I was like, let me step out of this bar, you know. And it was great. So all that's been going on the last couple of months, which is, you know, had its ups and downs, and I'm sure we'll touch on that, you know, through recordings throughout the year. But it just feels really good. Like I thought it would feel a little different. I thought I'd feel a little bit more like kind of like done with you, like but I really did learn and grow a lot in my last job. I was there for almost 3 years.
You totally have every right to want to Molotov cocktail their asses. I'm sorry.
But anyways, they were good.
You're such a mature adult. I'm so not.
Well, that's part of not drinking too. I think that's really like talk about growing, and we talk about like doing all that self, you know, work on yourself, which isn't easy, you know. No. But you always feel good about it afterwards. It's like going to the gym, like you don't want to do it. Doing it isn't as bad as you put it in your mind to be, and then afterwards you're like, oh, I feel great.
And it's kind of nice when you're recognizing along the way. Like, we have a friend who is newly sober, who when I'm talking to her now, like, I feel like I'm talking to myself 3 months ago. Like, we're such similar creatures, and our experiences and reasons for stopping drinking and consequences that have happened, like, there's a lot of similar things in there, and I feel like I'm saying things to her that I wish I could have heard or felt or accepted. Not that no one said them to me, but like it's what I would say to myself if I could go back. And it's cool because I hurt for her because I know exactly where she's at, but I know where she's going. Like I know if she can hang the path, like if she can hang on it, I know how she's gonna feel today, and it makes me grateful for the work that I've done thus far. Like I say these things to her, and I think, oh, I really mean that. I really mean that gets better. I really mean that you'll feel better about yourself. I really mean that you can
one day
believe that you're not a piece of shit. Like I know it because I've been doing all this personal work along the journey, and so it's cool. Like it is cool to see it come to fruition and to be able to emotionally check myself this morning versus just being like, wow, my whole day is ruined. Fucking Lindsay.
And part of that, right?
Even though it was not her fault.
So, and part of that too is like, so when we say work, we don't just mean like, you know, we're not doing a whole ton every day, but it's you know, it's a gratitude list. It's going to a meeting. It's talking to each other. It's but you know, even if it's just real small in the morning, like haven't gotten to the whole praying on my knees thing, can't get to that yet, but it's, you know, even like you have a sponsor, it took me almost 7 months to find someone that I was like, okay, maybe she'll do. And but I like her.
Lindsay got a
just
sponsor.
And I got a sponsor, yes.
I don't know that we haven't talked about that. I think in the last episode I was giving you all kinds of crap
Karen,
about it.
yeah. She's really sweet and she's great because I said, listen, I'm busy, we talked about it. And she's like, no, I just want you to check in with me once a week. I want us to meet once a week. And she gave me this whole cute folder. It was adorable. With all these sayings that she uses and all this stuff. And a packet for like each step. So when we got back from our trip, she's like, Pat's like, did you call your sponsor? And I was like, oh God. I was like, I'll text her. And he's like, you should text her now. Like, and he kind of like nudged me to go do it. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then and then when she texted back, she's like, all right, so how's your step 1 work going? And I was like, oh, like, now I have to do it.
Really? What? I admitted I'm powerless. What else do you need to do?
So I have to go through her packet. It's on my list to get done this weekend for the step 1, but it's good. So she wants to meet. She's older. She's got like 1 million years sober, 36, not a million. And so that's interesting to hear her story because, like you were talking about, this new person and saying all this stuff and seeing yourself. And while a lot of alcoholic stories are very similar, there are a lot of similar. There's some people you just don't relate to, right? Like. Oh no!
Like
I don't know.
Like, I've been in jail 17 times in Howard County, and I'm like, oh
God.
I
was digging out of the dumpster for food, or I was smoking crack. You're like, oh,
right,
ugh.
Yeah. Grateful I didn't hit that yet moment.
Yes, but like you are so good in a sense where you're like, oh, and I just know how good she'll feel, and I feel like I wouldn't want to see her fail because it would disappoint me. So I don't know about this whole mentorship and how that works in sobriety for me. But I do feel like the grateful part, which I never thought I'd say.
Yeah.
So Karen's lovely. To be continued on that. We'll see how that goes. All this stuff.
Well, and I'm excited that you're starting now, and I'm really just starting the steps now too. I've only done 1 and 2 with my sponsor, so I'm working on 3. So I feel like it's good because we'll be going through it at a similar pace. I hope.
Yeah, I'm hoping
like we're doing like I know, but. Let's check that box.
Yes.
Our deal is every other week we get together.
Okay.
Like if we can get together every week, we would, but I think it's just been too challenging. And she's really great about coming to my home group meeting. So every other week we're gonna get together. So that's part of my to-do list today is to work on my step 3, which is I swear to God, I think it's gonna be the hardest one for me because
which one is that?
Oh, it says God like 700 times in it. I don't even know. So it's the higher power one. Ugh, like I don't know. It makes me nauseous. Gives me incredible anxiety. And I haven't even read all the questions, so I don't even know.
They give you lots of questions to like go through and work on yourself, and that's the really hard part because it's like, oh, why? Well, do you have an example of a question? Like,
yeah, like in step 2, I think there was, which is about admitting you're powerless, right? Or that your life had become unmanageable. And it was like, name a time when your actions were affected somebody else negatively because of your drinking or something like that.
Like, hold on.
And I'm like,
how much time do I have?
Right? Like I can't remember a lot of it. Like that was fine. Like the first 2 steps really weren't that big a deal to me. The 3rd step I've been like procrastinating. Like we're supposed to sit down on Monday and I haven't even touched it. So I have to do it this weekend. But it's a big one for me. Like, I've got super trauma around religion in my childhood and because of school, and it's one that's really hard for me to get past. And like the month of November, every time I was at a meeting where they talked about the 11th tradition, it's very God-filled. I was like, oh my God, this month will never end. Like I can't hear it again. And I shared at one meeting at my home group, like really emotionally, like how much it was setting me off, the whole God thing. So I'm really.
Do you replace it with another word? Like,
well, I loved what you were saying about HP.
So I read
maybe
this, right.
I don't know.
I listened to this book. I'm a little obsessed with audibles and listening because I feel like it's a traveling meeting for me in the car. And my new job, yay, will be it's a good 40 minutes away. And so I'm able to like kind of like barrel through some audibles.
Sure.
But they're all obsessed either of like, they used to be obsessed with like self-help and now they're just like drinking books or books about, you know, stories about drinking, and a lot of them are women. And
right now you're on.
I finished that one. I'm on a different one.
What was that you just finished?
It was called Unwasted.
Unwasted.
And the girl said, you know, she said, I reached out to HP, and she's like not Hewlett Packard, but her higher power. So she refers to her higher power as HP.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah, and even for me, like with Karen, my new sponsor, she said, you know, even if you don't believe to like get on your knees, and I was like, well, how about we just start with me like sitting on the floor? I was like, that was like my butt is on the floor, and I was like, and I do say higher power, so now I'm like, all right, maybe if I just put my butt on the floor and I
do a
say
little Zen Lotus pose.
HP, give me the strength to be fucking amazing all day today, you know, like.
I like that.
Yeah, so butt on the ground, that way it's like not the knees.
Grounded to the earth.
Grounded to the earth.
See, I love that. Like you can get me like, yeah.
In your HP.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try that one.
All right.
So I think when I switch the words around, and she does it for me now, like she automatically changes her verbiage to not HP, but higher power and things like that. But yeah, so the books, what I like about the books and hearing things, and like when you said you were talking to yourself, the person that, you know, our friend or whatever, you were talking to yourself, and like the things you heard and that you wish, like, I think you kind of hear what you need when you need it.
And I think you hear what you can handle.
Oh, God.
Like,
yeah.
There was a lot that I probably couldn't have digested that I could now.
Right.
Like, I just had to get through the day. I had to get through every day. And I couldn't digest a lot. Like, you were in a different place. You were, you know, miles ahead and doing all this self-work. And I was like, like, I just couldn't. I couldn't. And now I can handle a little more.
Yeah, no,
I'm
you're
in a place
doing
where I can handle a
amazing.
little more, like a little more and a little more, like, yeah.
How many days do you have? What are you up to?
Well, I'm 10 days. The 25th will be 5 months for me.
Yay.
Yeah, so whatever day that is.
That's
It's funny. I hit a point where the days. You told me this, yeah, and I hit a point where I was like, oh yeah, I haven't looked at my days for a while. Like I know I'm over 140 something.
You are. I looked at mine the other day and I hadn't looked in a while, and because I didn't really felt like I needed to, because it's a very like it's a little like it's a mini cheerleader in your pocket. Yeah. Yay! Good job, you made it.
And I needed that for a while. I really did.
And I needed it the other day, which I didn't think it was gonna like make an impact on me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna look, and I was looking to like check the calories, right? Or something like calories are money. It was something stupid, something for being vain.
It's not stupid.
And I looked and I was like, oh my God. And must have been the same day you looked. Cause I was like, yeah, you're 200, because we knew the exact same day.
Yeah, we knew what day we were on, yeah.
Yeah, so Sunday, tomorrow, will be 8 months for me.
Okay. Oh,
I know.
that's awesome.
And it feels like, it's strange. So it feels like it took 3 months, felt like I got to it. 6 months felt like kind of forever. The last months just felt like forever. Like I couldn't get to 6 months because that was like a big point to me, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Half a calendar year, yeah. I was like, 100 days was a big deal, and 6 months was a big deal. 8 months feels really good. Feels like
closing in.
Yeah, and a year is going to be like spectacular. I'm already planning the parade. I'm gonna wear.
I love it. I'm gonna drive the car that you sit in.
Yes.
And do this from.
All downtown. Got a treasure coast.
People are gonna be like, what is going on? Oh my God, we should totally fucking do it. I know people with convertibles. I can make it happen.
Okay. So, so this past week, I have this saying with my girlfriend, and we say like, you just never know who the flowers are from.
Right.
Not bad pun here, but
yeah, it didn't work out yesterday.
But just like you never know who's watching, you never know who's like you're going to be a support for, and just little things, right? Even in meetings, like why we get a chip, and we touched base on that before. But so my brother came into town the other night, which worked out really convenient. We got to spend some time together, and
such a good big brother. We
don't talk about sobriety like we talk about it, or like I talk about it with, in other important relationships. And I mean, I've always partied with my brother since he's 3 years older than me. Like, that's what you do in high school and when you go to college
Right.
and visiting him.
Well,
And
you have like the girl's gift in the universe. Like you've got a super cool, awesome gay big brother.
Yes.
What?
who's married to a super fabulous man,
Oh,
too. I
I
know.
love it. Like dream come true.
So I picked him up from the airport. We went to dinner. We were sitting there, and he was just like, it was really sweet. He's like, I just like, we're sitting across the table from each other at this like fancy lobster place and this like white linen. So late though, like I go to bed so early. We get a reservation for 10. I'm like, oh my god, that's like unrealistic. Anyways, so he's like, I'm just so proud of you, Lindsay, and we just like, this means the world to me, and you don't even know. And I was just like, oh my god, like you do care. Like I didn't know why he wouldn't talk to me about it if it was something that was like, and not like we need to talk about it all the time, but it's just like we never had a real deep conversation about it.
Right.
And there's been many incidents that I pissed him off from drinking and family stuff, and
Sure.
not enough time for that. But
We'll
it was
cover that in
really,
another episode.
it was really sweet. And then he's like, and I got you a gift, and I want you to like every time you look at it to just keep going, and I wanted to encourage you, and just to, and so he got me this beautiful ring, and so I was like,
so sweet.
oh, and it really is. And like I still am like processing all the emotions of like now I felt guilty that I was kind of like, why isn't he talking to me about this? Like I'm doing this great thing, and just processing all those emotions and feelings. I think that's definitely like where we're at in our stages. Like you were, even your thing this morning, like you're at such a better place, even just talking to you every day, like about all kinds of stuff. Like I'm really proud of you, and you're definitely kicking butt.
I mean, I'm still a mess. I'm still a freaking hot mess. I've been overwhelmed by life a lot lately. But I guess I'm having a better like self check-in system going on, and not unintentionally, but I'm more self-aware. I've always been kind of self-aware, but I'm definitely more self-aware. But I do think that not having been to meeting for a while, and I think that was the road we were starting to go down.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think we rabbit holed a little bit, but I think that not going to meeting is mucking me up. Like I haven't. I think I went like Thursday last week, and then it was my husband's birthday this past weekend, so we did a little overnight trip Sunday and Monday. So Monday night I would normally go to my home group, and I didn't, and so now today is Saturday, and I haven't been to a meeting since the prior, I think, Thursday. So that's a long time for me. I mean, I usually go to at least 3 meetings a week at this stage.
You're definitely
I'm not going every day, but I go as much as I can, and it helps, and it eases me, and it definitely puts me in check, and there's a level of serenity and whatever. And to not have gone for so long, I think has definitely impacted me. And I know you were saying it's been a few weeks for you. You've been crazy, and you were kind of on lockdown at work all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was. And now I'm really excited because I'll be able to have a little bit more of a set schedule, so I'll be able to, get an actual home group and not just be this, nomad in these groups going everywhere. So I'll have like a set time like to meet with a sponsor and to do those things. So I'm really looking forward to a little bit more structure there, because now I'm like, oh, I don't really, some people will ask where we've been, but it's not like that home group like you have where people will be like, Amy, where have you been, bitch? Like, Amy,
And they do.
Oh yeah.
They do. Like they didn't see me much during the holidays, and I started getting calls like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Like, are we gonna?" And that was great. Like it's so sweet. I love that. I did. And you heard some of it. So can I segue to the
we'll
get
do that.
together?
Perfect. And then
So and one last thing I want to throw out there about our Valentine's Day thing and being all like disappointed, and you said something that made me make a note about having expectations, and I heard somebody, or maybe I read it in a group that I'm on Facebook, somebody said expectations are premeditated resentments.
love it.
So good. So perfect.
Because you're only disappointing yourself. It's like being mad and not expressing your feelings. That's like you're only hurting yourself, because it doesn't affect anybody else around you. You're just like, channeling all that negativity.
And if I truly could just approach it as like, it's gonna be what it is, and it's gonna be great, and not be like, oh, I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna be disappointed because there's no flowers. Like, if I could just not be there in my head, and I don't know. I think my strategy for next year is gonna get me there, but anyhow, who knows? I could be a whole different person by next year. Could be a different Amy. So changing gears to the tribe of my home group. So
Mhm.
I really want to create or start collecting sober, amazing women that I want to be friends with, right?
And that's kind of why we started, well, how this has evolved on
Mhm.
this podcast too, is right, getting like a group of women together to like follow and share and
yeah, well,
be
we're
a
probably
part
not
of a
just
group.
women. I think we're
Right, all
I have
of
some dudes too. Yeah, we're not female specific, but in our personal life, like I
Mhm.
want a tribe of women to be able to spend time with that I don't have to worry about the whole sober thing. And it's a little, it's isolating when you get sober because a lot of the people you hung out with because they were your drinking buddies, and now it's weird, or they're weird with you, or you're uncomfortable because you really want to fucking drink, or you feel left out, or
Or
whatever.
they're
it
like,
is.
oh, I'm just gonna have one glass. Is it okay?
Yeah,
I'm just checking
it's
in
awkward
on you.
and weird, and so I've been going to meetings a lot. I've picked a home group. I've started to collect a few people that I feel like I have an acquaintance relationship with that I'd like to know better. And some people are people you like bond with early. Like we have a friend from the fellowship hall meeting that was there very early and is pretty close to me in time. And so like you bond over those things. So anyway, so I decided to have a gathering at my house. I love to have people over. I love to host it.
A girl
Gaggle gathering of the sober tribe. And I was so excited. I had like 7 women that I asked. And somebody couldn't make it because they have kids. And then the day of, I got a text from somebody that they were sick. And then later that day, somebody else said they were going to be super late. And later that day, someone else had a problem with their kid, their teenager, and couldn't come. And so, like, the whole thing kind of felt
I'm like,
shambles.
yes, I can just spend time with Amy.
I know. And you were like, oh, you're killing me with this whole fucking social thing. But why was I talking about that? So
because you were disappointed.
I was disappointed, but so one of the girls that came, she came super late. So there were 4 of us eventually that came. One person was there really early, and then you came, and that person had to leave, and then someone came really late. So you and I had like a minute, just us
and the
which
dogs,
was lovely. Us and the dogs. And then when the person who was coming really late came, she's from my home group, and she's someone I don't know her super well. I mean, I know her around town. I know, right? I know her around town, and I know her at meeting, and she's lovely. She's a lovely person, and she's always super kind, and clearly someone who would like give you the shirt off her back. But she was telling us a story about someone who relapsed, someone from our home group who I can't picture who this person is, honestly. It's a guy. I don't know him. I'd probably know him if I saw him, but he relapsed, and she's tight with him. Like, they came in at the same time. She feels like they kind of bonded over that, and he relapsed, and she like went above and beyond to like rescue him and like phone treed. All I could picture was what's her face in Practical Magic, like activating the phone tree, calling all the moms to come in. Oh, it's such a great movie. Okay, anyway, Sandra Bullock in Practical Magic, calling all the moms.
I feel like I've seen it,
You
but not.
have to have. Anyway, so she called all of our home group people, and like the troops came a running, and they like rescue this guy and try to get him to sober up and whatever. But it was cool to hear. I don't want to do that.
I don't see, that was scary.
I don't want to do that, but it was cool to hear, this tribe of people. It is a community. And again, I think where I live is very special. I think the town I live in is like Mayberry. It's very small. Everybody knows each other. It's a very close-knit community. And I feel the same way about the AA meeting in town. Like, it's different than meeting at Fellowship Hall. Like, Fellowship Hall's great, but it's not the same like family feeling. Sorry, that I get in there. So I just thought that was really cool. So my gathering kind of flopped. We had I'm still eating cupcakes.
I felt so sick when I got home. I was eating
like shit for days.
Chocolate.
But I'll try to do it again. I will. I'll try to do it again. I think it's important for us to have a community and a connection, and it's particularly important for us as women to have other women to reach out to and have a comfort level with. And part of my MO for it was, our friend that I was saying is new, I want her to have a comfort level that she's got people to reach out to should she need to, and all of that. So
because you think really positively about that, you're like, I just know she's gonna,
if she stays the course, I know where she'll be. She might not. It's up to her.
So how do you swallow? How do you stay positive on that?
So I believe in her, but it's not my responsibility whether or not she decides whether it's forever or not for her, whether she decides to stick. She may drink tomorrow. I don't know. She might say, you know what? I'm good. I can control it. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Right.
It's not
Forever?
yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah, what? No, it's okay. The fear I do have is that I wouldn't want her to feel uncomfortable being friends
Right.
with me if that's what happens. Like, I'm not judging whether or not she ever drinks again.
Right.
It's okay either way. Right now, she doesn't want to drink, and I want to be there for her. That's it. It's all I can do, right? But that's
You're
it.
so good looking. See, I don't have all that.
You're so funny. Yes, you do.
So, all right. Well, this has been a great
Yeah.
little recap. We have way more to talk about, of course.
do.
as
Stay
always.
tuned.
So, stay tuned. Thank you for joining with us today.
And just remember, you can stay sober wherever you are.
We just choose to do it in paradise. So, one day at a time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Wild Girls Gone Sober, and
Till
have a
next
great
time.
day.